Good afternoon and welcome to our DFN Project Search interest event for our RAF Cosford project. So I just want to kind of run through the order of events that we're going to cover today, and then we'll go straight into the presentation. So we'll do a brief round of introductions for those people who are here today to support me letting you know about the project. We're going to go into what is the project. We'll have a look at what some of our interns are doing at one of our other project search sites, the DFN brand, who are our partners, fundamentally who the programme is for. We'll look at what a day in the life of the programme will entail, curriculum, what sorts of rotations are possible, and then the impact of the programme overall from a DFN project search perspective, and then what support is available after the programme. So this is a partnership that brings together a host business in ESS, which is part of the Compass Group, which is based at RAF Cosford. The education element of it is run by Shrewsbury Colleges Group. Our supported employment is delivered by Enable, and then it's in partnership with Shropshire Council. So just to introduce the people who are with me today. So my name's Ben Kovacs. I'm the Head of Additional Learning Support here at Shrewsbury Colleges Group. Miranda, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, good afternoon all. I'm Miranda Worth. I am the General Manager at RAF Cosford, working for ESS part of Compass Group.
Charlotte.
Hello, I'm Charlotte Kelly. I work for Enable. We're part of the Supported Employment Services and also part of Shropshire Council, and I'm the Senior Employment Officer.
Glenn.
Hi, I'm Glenn Swindell. I am a Programme Specialist with DFN Project Search.
Thank you very much. So, what is DFN Project Search? So DFN Project Search is a one-year supported internship programme which looks at supporting students with an education, health and care plan into work. So we go through a process of identifying students' needs within the workplace, identifying what their strengths and their weaknesses are in terms of various different elements of work, and then we look to place them in suitable rotations. So a rotation is fundamentally an area of work within the host business. Each rotation lasts for about 10 to 12 weeks. And importantly, it follows the normal academic calendar. So it's a 38-week calendar with the usual summer and autumn breaks throughout, with Christmas and Easter, etc. So if I can pass over to Glenn, and he's going to talk a little bit about what is DFN Project Search.
Thank you, Ben. Well, DFN Project Search has been going in the UK for about 14 years, but originally started at Cincinnati Children's Hospital in Ohio in America 27 years ago. There are now over 400 Project Search sites in North America, and here in the UK, there are 150 sites where young people with learning disabilities and autism are all working towards getting a paid job. So, as you've seen, we bring together partner organisations in locations and work really hard to get people those 3 rotations that are really interesting, get them lots of work experience with the view to get that paid job at the end of it. Got a really good success rate of around 60% of young people getting full-time paid employment, but 70% of people who go through a project search site getting some kind of paid employment. Thank you, Ben.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. So here's just a few slides that kind of look at the types of roles that our interns have been doing currently this year at our NHS site. And this gives you a bit of an idea of the life of an intern, they're really immersed within an organisation, and our expectations are exactly the same for this project with ESS, that actually the interns will become part and parcel of the workforce, integrating themselves within both day-to-day work, but then also training opportunities such as, in this instance, via training. The interns had an absolutely fantastic time, and it was really important for them to feel part and parcel of, of that workforce, and to be considered in exactly the same way and offered the same opportunity. So cover a little bit more about who the programme is for. So as I mentioned before, it's for any student who has an education, health and care plan. Interns need to be between 18 and 24, and the reason for that is because of the need to have a DBS certificate, and we'll kind of cover a little bit more of that later on at the end of the presentation. We have an expectation around interns needing to either have already been travel trained or willingness to partake in travel training, so actually we can ensure that by the end of the programme, each intern is able to then go off into the workplace unaccompanied if needs be. All interns need to be committed to actually going into paid employment. If you're not quite at that stage yet, then this programme is maybe not quite right for you, but our expectations will be that it's at least 16 hours or more. We obviously, as we talked about before, expect interns to immerse themselves into the world of work, and as an expectation of that, we expect professional behaviour, and in terms of things like dress code and safeguarding and client confidentiality, because again, there are similar situations when you're working on the RAF base where you wouldn't be able to share information in the same way that our students at the hospital have to be minded of the patient confidentiality there as well. Okay, so in terms of a day in the life of an intern, past the first 2 weeks of the semester starting, actually go into a pattern of an hour in the morning, which is spent within the base room with the tutor, going over the employability skills programme. Once that element's done, then you will go off into your rotation, supported by the job coach where appropriate. And then at the end of the day, you'll then come back to the base room and to have a bit of a debrief, going over of the day in terms of any challenges, etc., any information that you need to know prior to being able to start the following day. Both of those elements are really imperative, and actually there's some real shared learning that goes on, especially at the end of the day, because interns are able to kind of share those experiences that have happened throughout the day and realise that actually they're not alone in some circumstances, which is a real bonding experience, and really helps to bring the interns together as a team. So what does that employability curriculum look like? We cover various different things throughout the year, including financial literacy, health and wellness, social communication skills, preparing for employment, clearly one of those fundamentally important elements of this whole programme, going over team building, ensuring workplace safety, undertaking any technology challenges throughout as well, looking at how to actually maintain employment as well once you kind of go into that paid employment. And one of the things that we've really noticed with our interns this year is trying to really increase their ability to self-advocate as well, rather than relying on individuals that they may well have done in the past, whether or not that's been their teachers or their learning support assistants, but actually realising that to make those next steps, it's about being able to stand up and kind of make your voice heard in an appropriate manner. Whilst doing so, across all of this curriculum, we look to embed those functional skills of English, maths and IT throughout and as appropriate for interns. There is also the opportunity for those where it's need be and appropriate for them to still look at sitting an English and or a maths qualification as well, but we'll talk about that on an individual case-by-case basis. So, rotation possibilities. There's a whole host of opportunities that Miranda and her team have been able to offer our interns moving forward into next September, and we're really excited to be able to kind of work with them and the teams to be able to offer these opportunities. So administration, catering, retail, housekeeping, reception work, customer service and cleaning opportunities. And as we said before, each intern will undertake 3 different rotations, and there's opportunities across the RAF base in order to be able to work throughout these, and it's some really good opportunities that can lead on to further paid employment, potentially with the ESS directly, but if not, certainly with partner organisations or those skills in your local area as well. So back to a little bit more about the day-to-day side of things. This kind of gives you a bit of an idea of the uniform that will be expected our interns to wear, dependent on the area of work that they're working in, and we'll work with you to be able to kind of ensure that you've got those appropriate items as well. So what's next? So you will, once you put in an application to the college, which can be done through our college website, you will be invited into an assessment day later in July, whereby you will undertake a series of different activities ranging from tasks to assess your capabilities and where they are at, as well as an interview. To allay any fears, when we say an interview, we really just mean an opportunity to chat and find out a little bit more about you, an opportunity for you to find a little bit more about us and how we work moving forward. Because of the fact that you will be working on an RAF base, and the types of work and the people that you will be working with, there is an expectation that we ensure all students have a DBS. So as part of that, we will need you to bring with you appropriate documentation so that we can start that process as soon as possible. So on screen, it kind of gives you an idea of the types of certificates. So passport, birth certificate, national insurance that you'll need to be able to bring with you. And then in terms of the DBS itself, again, passport, current driving license, that can be a provisional or a full, depending on where you're at with your driving and whether or not you are able to provide those. You'll also need to bring a bank or building society statement, potentially a benefit statement issued within 3 months, or other evidence provided to you by HMRC, local government or local council. So the RAF base itself also expects us to be able to provide some information for a BPSS, and those 2 documents need to come from either a valid UK passport, bank statement, current utility bill, or a UK photo driving licence. But we'll also need to ensure that you have a reference from a person of standing in the community as knowing the individual for a minimum of 3 years. In most circumstances, in these situations, that can be a teacher that's been working with you. So I'm going to pass back to Charlotte to kind of go over what happens after the programme.
Thank you. So in terms of after the programme, Enable, as a supported employment provider, will stay with you on your journey. So we'll be with you on your journey throughout your time at ESS and then also after. So whether you secure employment with ESS or whether you're moving on to pastures new, we can support you with your onward journey. So whether that be some job coaching support that we'll apply for via Access to Work or support you to apply for via Access to Work and the DWP. You'll be provided with an employment officer that can help you in terms of making sure your CV is ready, some interviewing skills, and then looking for jobs after, and kind of helping you secure some paid employment once you've built up all those skills that you've had throughout your internship year, and kind of help you with that onward journey. I think that kind of wraps it up. Is that okay?
Thanks very much for that. So Glenn mentioned at the beginning in terms of the impact of the programme. So on average, 6% of DFM Project Search graduates move into full-time employment, and then 70% move into at least 16 hours or more in terms of after, I think it's 6 to 9 months of the programme finishing. So when you take into account that actually currently within the UK, there are 4.8% of people who have disability currently within employment. It's quite staggering, the effectiveness of this programme, and that's part of the reason that we wanted to come together and work with DFM Project Search within Shropshire to work with local employers to be able to offer those opportunities, because it's imperative that we do more to be able to support students to get into employment, should that be the direction that they wish to go in. So just a couple of quick FAQs that have come up in the past that we thought would be really important to share with you. So in terms of transport, obviously, with the RAF base being in Cosford, not everybody is local to Cosford. However, there are various different routes in order for us to be able to support you to get there. So this shouldn't come as any concern, and we will work on an individual basis to ensure that students are able to get there. Can benefits still be claimed? Yes, is the answer to that. Again, you need to work through the job centre, and this is done again on an individual basis, but we do have interns on our current programme who are still in receipt of universal credit as well. So hopefully that will allay any fears to whether or not your benefits will still be able to be paid whilst on this programme. So that's all of the information that we've got now. So as I say, the next port of call is for anybody who's interested to put in a application through our website. If anybody has any specific questions and they want to reach out, then you can email me on benko@shrewsbury.ac.uk, and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with anybody and to make sure that we can support you moving forward to apply for this programme. I really hope to see some of you very soon, because it'll be fun. You know, it is a really exciting opportunity to be able to work with ESS at RAF Cosford. It's gonna, yeah, I'm just really excited. Miranda and her team have already gone to fantastic lengths to ensure that this programme is going to be really successful moving forward. So very excited. So as I say, please reach out to us if you have any questions. Otherwise, please put in an application as soon as you can. All right, many thanks. Speak to you soon.